The villages of Repton and Willington are 1 mile apart, but they are separated by the River Trent. There were no bridges in between Burton and Swarkston, and until 1839 the only ways of crossing were by the ford or the ferries at Willington and Twyford. An Act of Parliament was obtained to build a bridge and a new road from Repton, which were opened at a cost of over £10,000. But every animal, person and cart had to pay at this toll house. The toll charges stayed the same for 59 years, but they were increasingly resented. Eventually, aided by public subscription, the Derbyshire County Council bought the bridge from the trustees for £11,500. On the 1st of August 1898, amid great rejoicing, the bridge was declared free of toll forever, and 100 years on, the two villages celebrated the Centenary.
I can't do exactly where I have been, and it's too far back, so I just have
In 1898, the weather was reported as beautifully fine, with flags and bunting in profusion, as a large crowd gathered at Repton Cross to see the procession. Today it was raining, but the sea of umbrellas added to the colour. The horse-drawn vehicles were led by the Bath Shire horses, pulling a dray carrying the original toll board, which has been on display in Repton Church ever since being taken down in 1898. Many of the carriages and cars in the procession were used to carry the VIPs and guests to the ceremony at the newly restored toll bridge site. The Bath Shire horses were driven by David Coffin, and they're followed by a French milk cart driven by Walter Archer from Milton. This is an 1896 brougham carrying the Lord Lieutenant of Derbyshire, and it's followed by a four-wheeled wagonette, two governess carts, a Harewood gig and a rally car. The 1898 procession was led by the Derby United Prize Band. Today it was led by another prize band, the United Co-op Band from Crewe, under its bandmaster Roy Sparks. The horses and carriages were driven by members of the local branch of the British Driving Society with their chairman Brian Durrow. This is an 1884 hearse from Ron Coxon of Anslow, and it's pulled by a pair of plumed Belgian black horses. This first car is the 1898 Daimler from the Museum of British Transport at Coventry, and its passenger is Mark Todd, MP. Second car is a 1902 Rocher car from France by Johnny Pridmore from Ratcliffe-on-Soar. He didn't make it to Willington, but he was towed back by this next car, a 1907 Rolls-Royce owned by Graham Mead of Hartshorn. It's followed by Barbara Mead in the 1911 Rolls-Royce. And the church bells of Repton ring out again just as they did in 1898. This is a 1915 Model T Ford owned by John Longdon of Newark, and it's followed by Roger Boisier in his 1924 Bullnose Morris Cowley. Next is the 1926 MG sports car driven by Michael Appleby of Sutton-on-the-Hill, and then Harold Grief in his 1929 Morris Oxford. The green 1933 Austin 7 is driven by Bill Crockett from Hilton, and the 1936 Austin 10 by Christopher Keane from Wince Hill. The 1950 Chevrolet is by Ian Stewart, and it's followed by this 1950 Reliant delivery van driven by Charles Middleton from Borrowash, and then Clive Barker driving his military-style Land Rover representing the war years. The 1953 Lancia is driven by Dr. Brian Hands, and the white 1958 MGA sports car by Susan Boisier. It's followed by Bridget Boisier driving the 1960 Rolls-Royce. Then there's the 1963 Rolls-Royce, driven by Graham Rudd of Hilton, and it's followed by the red 1965 Jaguar, driven by David Yeomans. The 1966 Morris Minor, driven by Beverly Bowman, and Archie Bowman is driving his 1974 BMW, followed by Liz Plant in this 1984 Jaguar XJS. This is a 1998 Rolls-Royce Silver Seraph, driven by Sally Rudd. There were 5 Rolls-Royces in the parade. Behind that is the 1998 Westfield Lotus 7 kit car, driven by Zach Grief. Then a brand new Toyota Avensis, registered today, driven by Christopher Morrow. And finally the all-electric Lotus Elise sports car from Zytec, driven by Sam Phillips. A double-decker blue bus was unable to take part in the parade, but we were glad to have this 1964 Burton bus, driven by Gerald Anthony. And it also carried guests to the toll bridge. This is the 1926 GMC lorry with solid tyres, provided by John Hayward of Rollston-on-Dove. Next comes an Atkins 1933 Foden lorry from Michael Atkins of Findon. And finally a 1951 Dennis fire engine from the Derbyshire Fire Engine Society. This is the view from the toll house site at the bridge as the crowds wait for the procession to arrive from Repton. The Master of Ceremonies is Alan Gifford and the toll gate man is played by Dave Kite.
Here we are, the first opening of the gate. The gate was made specially for us by National Power. Okay, great. Welcome to the band. Pull into the left, the banner part. Yeah. Yeah. Right, the toll bridge is now closed and I'll pass the microphone over to the toll gate man.
Who will pay the legal toll granted by the Parliament in 1835 to pass over the bridge and through the gate?
Somebody has to pay.
Who will pay the toll, please? You can't come through the gate without paying a toll.
Here we have the Lord Lieutenant of the County, John Bather, approaches, and the tollman's walking the other side.
There we go.
Is this the 1898 penny, sir?
It is, an 1898 penny, yes, there we are. Is that all right?
That's all right, sir.
Thank you very much.
You realise that this item will be joining the dole queue after this particular performance.
Make it slow. Right, we close the gate back now. Need to get through, and we need room to get into the entrance there, please. Because all the guests have got to get into the platform area. Steve, I'm sorry, what's going on? Okay. Applause for the parade. We have many varieties of transport, all dating back for more than 100 years to the latest vehicle, which will be a car registered today.
No, I wouldn't think this. Are you
Now, they're waiting. The guests are dismounting from the coaches and will enter into the platform area now. There'll be a slow passage of 4 vehicles at a time while we unload the guests.
That's right. With a dipper with
Clear the way! Clear the way!
A horse drawn complete. No, there were no volunteers to ride.
You can only ride for
You'll notice that as the cars pass through,
Are you cleared to receive the bus soon to do its manoeuvre? Expensive car now.
we wonder if any of the family of the last tollkeeper, Mr. Bennett, are in the area, would like to come over. They would like to be interviewed, please. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the formal part of the event, the opening of the platform and the unveiling of a commemorative plaque to the event. I'm going first of all to ask Bob Marrow, who has been chairman of the organising committee, to say a few words.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Willington Bridge Centenary Committee, I take the very greatest of pleasure in inviting you all to come to Repton and Willington today to join with us in these celebrations. Now at this point I was going to say thank you all so very much for bringing some decent weather with you. The jury is still out on that one. However, we're not going to be depressed by the weather, are we? No. Thank you. The arrangements for today's events were set in train some 3 years ago by the joint parish councils of the two villages. And we started with the idea of a bridge, and we ended up with the idea and the building of many bridges in the figurative sense. We've seen parish councillors work with their opposite numbers, people who in many cases they hadn't even met before. We've seen village organisations and individuals working with people that they had never met before. We've learned all sorts of skills: how to run a parade, how to run a raft race, PR, advertising, marketing. Weather control wasn't too good. We've built bridges with the local authority, and I have to give a particular vote of thanks at this point to South Derbyshire District Council and to Derbyshire County Council, both of whom have been tremendously helpful to us. They've given us advice, they've helped us in kind, and they've helped us financially. We are extremely grateful. We'd also like to thank the local industries and some of the not so local industries who have cheerfully and willingly given their time, their money and their resources to help to make today's event what we hope it's going to be. We hope you enjoy yourselves today. It's a special day. There won't be another one for 100 years, and I think it's interesting and perhaps rather sobering to reflect on the fact that there is a whole generation of people who haven't yet been born, who will have lived their lives out and won't be around anymore at the time of the next centenary celebrations. So make no mistake about it, today is a very special day. We hope you enjoy it. Finally, before I disappear, I have a very pleasant and very prestigious to perform, and that is to introduce you to the man who is going to open this viewing platform, unveil the commemorative plaque, and open the afternoon's events on the field. Although I see from one of the balloons that's gone up in the air that the field events may have already unofficially started. However, will you please give your attention, and I'd like a really rousing Willington and Repton welcome, the loudest you can do, for the Lord Lieutenant of Derbyshire, Mr. John Bather.
Mr. Ford, Miss Cannon, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for asking me today. This is a great honour to be asked to reopen this bridge after 100 years. I must say I was taken back, absolutely amazed by the number of people who are here today, and I think one has to thank Mr. Morrow and his team who put in so much effort to make today possible. Things about this bridge, and I haven't really found out why why the bridge was actually for 59 years a tow bridge, and then suddenly it became free of tow in 1898, because as I understand it, this bridge in fact was built in 1837, and I imagine that the reason for it being built was that when the railway line came through and stopped at Willington, it was seen that it was a good idea to link Repton and Willington. I'm sure there's great pressure put on from the people, not only at the school but the town, to be able to get across the river and be able to join the railway line. As I think I've already said, an awful lot of original thinking has gone into this parade today. And one of the interesting things is looking at, first of all, the horse-drawn vehicles in the first decade, and then the early motor cars, and then the pre-war, the old Austin Sevens, and models which I've lived with and even remember first coming out since the 40s, the 50s, 60s. And that was a very original idea, very clever. In fact, I rode here in a brougham, and it's rather more comfortable than any car I've ever ridden in. It was, in many ways, I wish we could go back to that, but we can't look back. The one thing I do know is that whatever else happens, I believe that in 100 years on, this bridge will still stand. And so I say today, it gives me great pleasure and a great honour to with it. God bless this bridge, and long may she stand. It now gives me great pleasure to unveil the plaque.
Could I, sir, on behalf of the Centenary Committee, present you with this penny and a paperweight to commemorate you opening the bridge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. It's absolutely lovely. It's the nicest paperweight I've ever seen. That's lovely. It's even got the toll bridge. Thank you.
My pleasure. Could we now have, please, 3 cheers for Lord Lieutenant? Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
The riverbank was crowded for the start of the great raft race, and many people took advantage of the road closure to view it from the bridge. The race was organised by Dave Webber, and 14 rafts took part. They all finished, including this one, Green 2 from Willington, which turned over, as you will see later. Here it is turning round under the bridge, as it is number 4 to set off. Number 1 on the left is the Rising Sun, Willington, and number 2 on the right with the Union Jack is Craig Wilmot's team from Orchard Close, Willington. Incidentally, the clock is 1 hour out. It is 1:33. And just listen out for the children's comments.
Come on then.
Raft number 3 is aptly called Hope It Floats. This yellow raft is number 6, and it's from Calder Aluminium. Calder Aluminium are just launching, but what's happening down the riverbank? It's number 5 raft called Hawaii 5-0, losing 4 of its crew into the river. We'll see that again in more detail later on. Number 10 raft is the Willington Riff Rafts, or the Post Office Pioneers. Number 7 is the team from the new Inn, Repton, in Zytek. Judging by powerful takeoff, they look as if they've been practicing. This is team number 9, entered by Mark Walker. These are the reel-in water babies from London. This Viking boat is raft number 11 on Swan at Milton.
What? Oh, yes, all right. Bloody hell.
You missed the bus. Oh, what the mad drive? That's some excellent ones. I think they're going to do quite well, actually.
Yeah, well, it's not very stable, is it? The street there, the yellow phone.
It's not the way it's steering.
Several of these rafts were raising money for charity. The Swan raised over £300 for the St Giles Hospice at Lichfield. Next is raft number 12 by the Repton Scout Group. And lining up behind them is number 13 from the Red Lion at Repton. Next is number 14, the Pirate Raft. This is Green Man 1 from Willington. Green Man 1 flying the skull and crossbones and has its own tiller man. Incidentally, the noise doesn't come from any engines on rafts, it comes from the power generators on the field. This is the safety boat, patrolling and looking for customers. Now we have a change of view. This is taken from a camera on the bridge, and it repeats some of the earlier incidents from a different angle.
Samuel there. He's heading for the boat. No, he's heading for the boat. Right, we'll come back for him. Look at that, he's there. I missed him.
This is Green Man 2 turning under the bridge and waiting its turn for the off. This is Craig Wilmot's team, number 2. This is the Rising Sun, number 1. This is number 3, Hope It Floats.
In those buckets to the water bombs. Oh, that was very good. Hey, what was that? It's starting nice.
And this is Hawaii 5-0. And the crowd enjoyed seeing 4 of the 6 getting wet. And so did the other 2 crew. And then there's Green Man 2 turning turtle. They all managed to get on again and to come in second. Aluminium in yellow, being bombarded by Hawaii 5.
Definitely winning. Oh, that one's getting damaged, that one is. Oh, look at that yellow one. Look at the yellow one, it's sinking. Look at that yellow one, it's sinking.
The Willington Riff Rafts taking aim at the UN Zytec team. The Willington Riff Rafts.
Hey, there's one there, there's one there! Who's like that? Oh, this is great. Oh, that was already sinking. Oh.
This is the Wheel Inn, Findon. A short wheelbase raft. A swan, Viking boat.
Wherever it is. Where's down there, look, Robert. See there? Flower in the water.
This is the Repton Scout Troop.
Kids.
And the Red Lion.
No, it says no.
Oh, we're on there.
That's the inside now. We're racing back.
Oh, that one's cool.
This is the Green Man 1 pirate boat.
A kid's standing on side. He can't fire.
Last one, isn't it? Yeah.
And finally, a change of angle. This camera was further downstream. This is the rising sun.
That's my neighbour. This is fast.
There's Hope It Floats and Green Man 2 before it turned over.
I think somebody's in the water. Let's cut out. That's a good idea, isn't it? Sit in it rather than on it, isn't it?
This is called Aluminium and New Inn at Repton. They went on to win the race to Twyford. Green Man 2 came in second and Green Man 1 were third. This is Hawaii 5-0.
Decide you slow them down, that's it, well done.
Go on, we're catching them all!
Optimist.
Come on, mate!
This is Mark Walker's team, followed by the Willington Riff Rafts.
Oh no, here they are, look. This must be them. Something. Oh, Willington Post Office.
They're broadside.
Come on, Scott!
Oh, they're going to do it.
What was the shooting?
Nah, it's holding them up up in there. Oh, there's a salt tackle.
Now a final look at the wheel in Findon. And the Swan Milton Viking boat.
Sorry, I thought you meant the
Should hold the log out, something like the old life.
As well as providing the riverbank launching for the raft race, Farmer Graham Whirlage's large field was also the site for the Victorian market and all the field events. The specially brewed Centenary ale from the Bass Museum Brewery was on sale in the beer tent, on draft and in souvenir bottles. And the Willington and Repton Women's Institutes combined forces to hold a Victorian market of their own produce. There were cakes and preserves, plants and craftwork, all for sale on their stalls. The strong breeze had blown away the rain in the afternoon, and the sun began to shine. There were donkey rides for the children, games and sideshows, a clown, birds of prey and archery demonstrations, a steam engine and a hurdy-gurdy. A popular favourite was Ray King's Punch and Judy show.
Sort of start getting in front of you to find a space. So we'll leave a space behind you, shall we, on the far side of the sheet there. So if you fill the gaps up in front of you, and then any later ones won't be treading over you and trying to get in front. And that's it. So have we left enough space for some, like, can you come a little tiny bit closer, do you think, darling? Just a bit. I know why it's come out. It's your smiles that's done it, isn't it? Hey? Because I read in a book somewhere, if you smile a lot, the sun shines, and if you look miserable, it rains. So somebody's been looking a bit miserable this morning in Willington, but we're cheering up now, aren't we? Boys up there, come up here with it! I beg your pardon? Come up here with it! Come up there a minute! Hey! Why, what is there there? Oh! There's a boys up here! There's girls and boys up there? Hey! Come and have a look! Go, all right, I'm coming. Oh, I say, Mr. Punch, you're right. What a lot of lovely children. Hey, don't they look friendly? Yes, they do. I'm going to speak to them. Hello, everybody! Hello, darling. Oh, it is nice to see you. Tell me, are you having a lovely time? Yes, all that's...
Shall I give him a little kiss or a great big kiss? Well, I thought you'd say that, a big kiss, eh? All right then, Mr. Bun. What? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a big kiss if you look after the baby for me while I pay for the ice cream. Oh, no, I don't want to look after the
with a hog roast in the marquee on Repton School's paddock, with dancing to the sound of Denise Lawrence and the Storyville Tickle Band, and a grand fireworks display. The Centenary Committee thank all these sponsors and everybody who helped to make this historic day so memorable.